Hello my friends, and welcome to another edition of the Vegematic Show Under the Radar. For those of you who are able to find it and dig a little deeper, we'll dig a little deeper along with you. Since the world is kind of digging itself in deeper and deeper with every passing day, I will endeavor to do the same for my loyal audience. Thank you, loyal audience, for being a loyal audience. I don't know why you are, but fuck, I'm not going to question it. What's in the news? Inflation hits a 6-year high, wiping out any wage gains. So, in other news, water is wet. Yeah, the Consumer Price Index, the CPI, which is kind of a little suspect in my mind. Inflation rates. Isn't that interesting, inflation rates? I would like to go back in the last 10, 20 years and track inflation rates and then compare prices, because it's all bullshit. It doesn't include fuel, it doesn't include food. It's just whether you can get cheap stuff cheaply and more cheaply, and can they manufacture it so it breaks sooner and ends up in the dump sooner. This is capitalism at its finest, and it is in the service of mankind. Thank you, capitalism. I love you so much. You have given us all a wonderful lifestyle at the expense of the planet. So thank you very much, capitalism. Capitalism, I love you. You're wonderful, especially the fascistic kind of capitalism that we now find ourselves in. Great article I read on TruthDig today, and it coined a phrase that sums it up. It's neoliberal fascism. So it doesn't matter which party and it's the whole greed thing, man. It's all about greed. In my neighborhood, I live in, this is Armpit Studios in the basement in a little house in East London, Ontario, the formerly semi-prosperous neighborhoods that used to work at the Kellogg's factory that was sold, and now they turned it into some kind of entertainment venue. So, yeah, well, I guess it's better than the other factories that they just abandoned and left there with their toxic waste sitting there to leave as a legacy, as a gift to the city of London that I live in. A city so boring that they couldn't even come up with an original name for it. You know, it occurs to me that it's never inflation if prices go up. What really fuels the inflation rate is if wages go up. Because if prices go up, they fudge the figures so that any maybe union people that have a cost of living agreement will be screwed out of 2 or 3% or 10% a year or whatever. It's all a con. It's a massive con game. Statistics are a massive con game. Anybody that tells you that inflation, oh my goodness, inflation is at 2%. How recently have you had 2% inflation? Well, I guess you can get, well, you can't even get cheap shit from China anymore. It's gone a dollar store. It's not $1 anymore, it's $1.50, so it's a little more expensive to fill our landfills with crap that will be used once or twice and thrown away. But that is capitalism at its finest, and we will continue to provide you with cheap plastic goods that will continue to pollute the ocean while we engage in cleaning up Fukushima when we get around to it. Okay, so they're going to get around to it. I have faith in science. I know these guys, you know, they're really the top guys, the best people, you know, the finest people. The shit floats to the top. The shit always floats to the top, doesn't it? Just look at society. Anything that destroys the planet, anything that causes damage, death, destruction, is a very well paid profession to get into, and you should do it, because otherwise you're going to be amongst the peons that are desperately needed by the 1% to prop them up. Why the hell do we prop them up? Why do we buy the products? Why don't we just say, screw it? Why don't you just turn off that computer right now? Turn off your device. I dare you. You can't do it. Neither can I. I'm not blaming you. So Sarah Sanders refuses to say that the press is not the enemy of the people. And we know Sarah Sanders has some issues with the truth, but when you're the daughter of a psychopath, you become psychopathic yourself. Sarah, really what you should do is get some psychological counseling, quit your job, get away, move away, because it's just ugly, okay, Sarah? It doesn't work. It's not a good look for you. Inside, I think there's some good humanity buried under there somehow. Isn't it ironic that she has the same last name as Bernie Sanders? How does that suck? You don't think that's a conspiracy? Fuck yes, that's a conspiracy. Trump wants to push 1 million people off food stamps. Well, why not? Starvation before the price of food goes up. You don't want to be spending money on food when you could be spending money on weapons. And that's something that, you know, bipartisanship between the Republicans and the Democrats. They get along really well together when it comes to funding the insane military budget. Empire is important, isn't it? The empire. Just remember, it's the empire. 800 to 1,000 military bases in every country around the world. Okay, we give up, America. You're God, okay? Actually, the Lord Almighty, and we understand your positioning here from your psychopathic evangelical perspective. We understand that, and we know everybody needs money. Speaking of everybody needing money, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm on the web a lot, and I'm reading articles, and I'm studying this and studying that, and every time you turn around, oh, please send me money. Please send me money. Our paper needs money. And I know it sucks that, like, journalism is like reduced to begging for crumbs on the side of the road because we don't value it, and it's not commercial. Throw it out, get rid of it. We don't need it. Protesters in Chicago are vowing to shut down some streets to draw attention to guns and the gun violence, and want to stop the gun violence. Just kill everybody down there, okay? I mean, just everybody shoot everybody, get it over with, and kill all the assholes. No. So what are you going to say? Well, okay, we're going to get some anti-tank weapons there. I see that with the police. Oh, you shut down the interstate and you shut down a couple of streets in Chicago. Well, we better deploy the special weapons for you folk. Just a late night rant, too much alcohol, too much herbal stimulation, and too little time. Be well, everybody. I love all of you.